This morning, we're focusing on the seemingly never-ending cycle of gun violence, destroying lives and families each day in the United States. We want to warn you, we're about to bring you a lot of heavy news. That includes Saturday's attack on a dance studio in Monterey Park, California. The death toll there is now up to 11. And there was another mass shooting yesterday in Half Moon Bay, California. At least 7 people were killed there by one suspect at 2 separate farms.
There was also a school shooting in Des Moines, Iowa yesterday, which ended with the lives of 2 high school students, taking the lives of 2 high school students, while in Chicago, another attack left 2 people dead and 3 more critically injured. Just since Saturday, more than 100 people have been killed in this country by guns, and that includes at least 7 mass shootings.
CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is in Half Moon Bay, California, with more on how the suspected shooter there, was taken into custody. Carter, good morning.
Vlad, where I am is significant because this is where deputies took that shooter into custody, and we're in the parking lot of the sheriff's substation. Now, the sheriff says after gunning down people in 2 different locations, the shooter came here, sat in his car, and waited.
Hands up, hands up, hands up.
With guns in hand, deputies close in on the 67-year-old shooting suspect. Seconds later, they've got him on the ground, surrounded, hands cuffed.
They had their guns drawn, took several asks. Then he got out of the car, and eventually he was taken down to the ground by them.
The arrest comes just hours after investigators say he gunned down 8 people, killing 7.
It was in the afternoon when kids were out of school, and for children to witness this is unspeakable.
It happened in the coastal community of Half Moon Bay. The gunman allegedly went to a mushroom farm and opened fire. There, officers say he shot 5 people, killing 4 of them. He then drove less than 10 minutes away to another farm where the sheriff says he shot and killed 3 more people.
We are working at trying to gather more information to figure out what the connection was to these victims.
The shooter is believed to be an employee at one of the farms, and for now, authorities say he's cooperating.
We know that he acted alone at this time.
But investigators still aren't saying why they believe he did it. Half Moon Bay was already reeling. This agricultural town along the California coast is still recovering from severe flooding and landslides. And now, a mass shooting.
The amount of stress that's been on this community for weeks is really quite high.
Now, in light of the shooting in Southern California, it is worth noting that the shooting suspect in this case is also an elderly Asian male man, and his victims are mostly Asian farm workers. Now, perhaps it's just an unfortunate coincidence, but that's certainly something investigators are going to be looking into. California's governor called it a tragedy upon a tragedy. Vladimir.
So, Carter, let's focus on the victims. What more are we learning about them?
You know, we don't know a whole lot about them right now. They have not released identities. We believe the victims were farm workers at these 2 locations, and it's possible that the suspect could have worked with them. It is believed he is a worker at one of these locations as well.
And then at this point, is there any indication by law enforcement what the possible motive might be?
They haven't released anything on motive right yet. They have said that the suspect is cooperating, so we presume he is talking with them right now. But at the latest press conference where we got our latest information late last night, they said they still don't have a motive for this crime.
Wow. Carter Evans, thank you very much, Carter.